You're watching South Asia Newsline and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 6th of February. Jaishankar briefs Parliament on Indians deported from US, says not a new thing. Pakistan wants to resolve all issues, including Kashmir, with India through talks, says PM Sharif. And Bangladesh protesters torch ousted PM Hasina's father's home. And now for all the details. A day after US sent illegal Indian migrants back, Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar on Wednesday said that the government is engaged with Trump administration to ensure that the deportees are not ill-treated. This comes as the US Customs and Border Protection Agency released a video showing illegal immigrants handcuffed and chained at the ankles. Jaishankar said deportation of illegal migrants is not a new development and has been going for several years. His remarks were followed by a volley of questions and criticism from the opposition benches, including asking if the Indian government could not have sent a plane, military or civilian charter to bring back its citizens in a more human manner. The reference was specifically to Colombia and its standoff with the US on this issue. To which the minister responded by saying the deportation by the US is organized and executed by Immigration and Customs Enforcement Authority.
Of all countries to take back their nationals if they are found to be living illegally abroad. This is naturally subject to an unambiguous verification of their nationality. This is not a policy applicable to any specific country, nor indeed one only practiced by India. It is a general accepted principle in international relations. Sir, honorable members would be aware that the process of deportation is not a new one. I repeat, not a new one.
Meanwhile, upon landing, deportees spoke of being handcuffed to their seats for long periods and denied toilet breaks, prompting opposition MPs to red flag potential human rights violations by the US. Among those, horrified claims was one by 36-year-old Jaspal Singh from Punjab, who said he paid rupees 30 lakh to an agent who promised him legal passage to the US. Instead, he was trafficked through an illegal and perilous path that involves transiting via South American country. The deportations are in line with President Donald Trump's position against an estimated 11 million illegal immigrants in the country. Moving on. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif on Wednesday said Islamabad wants to resolve issues with New Delhi through talks. In an event in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, Sharif made the mention of Lahore Declaration signed by his elder brother and then Pakistan PM Nawaz Sharif and Indian Premier Atal Bihari Vajpayee and said the only way forward for both countries was through dialogue. However, he once again dragged up Kashmir issue and said India should fulfill the promises and resolutions of the UN Security Council for initiating dialogue. Talking about India's abrogation of Article 370, he added, India should move beyond the mindset of August 5. He threatened, if necessary, Pakistan would use its full strength to safeguard its national interest without hesitation. Relations between India and Pakistan have been so since decades, but if nosedived in 2019 after India carried out aerial strikes in Pakistani territories after a terror attack on India's paramilitary convoy. The relations further worsened after India revoked the special status of Jammu and Kashmir, following which both countries degraded the status of their diplomatic missions. India has also repeatedly asserted that it wishes to have normal neighborly relations with Pakistan in an environment free of terror, hostility and violence. And Chinese President Xi Jinping on Wednesday held talks with visiting Pakistan President Asif Zardari in Beijing to discuss relations between the two countries. She said China and Pakistan enjoy ironclad friendship and are all-weather strategic cooperative partners to each other. In recent years, the two countries have provided firm political support for each other, maintained close high-level exchanges and advanced the construction of the China-Pakistan economic corridor and cooperation in various fields, setting a good example for bilateral ties, she said. The Chinese president further said that China stands ready to deepen practical cooperation with Pakistan in various fields and work with the Pakistani side to upgrade the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project. The growing Pakistan-China relations, marked by strategic partnerships and infrastructure projects like the CPEC, have raised concerns for India as it views this alliance as a challenge to its regional influence and security. India's apprehension stems from the increased military collaboration between the two nations and the potential for destabilizing effects in the region. Moving on. Freelancers in Gilgit, Baltistan are facing significant hurdles due to ongoing electricity and internet issues. Many IT professionals and freelancers are forced to relocate elsewhere every winter to sustain their work. A report.
In Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan, a region known for its breathtaking landscapes, the aspirations of young IT professionals and freelancers are being crippled by persistent power outages and unreliable internet services, disrupting their work and financial stability. The issue is forcing many young freelancers to move to Islamabad as soon as winter begins. A youth leader demanded swift action from the government to complete power projects and improve digital infrastructure. Until these changes happen, they will continue to struggle or be forced to move elsewhere, he said.
तो ये बेसिक चीज़ें हैं जो हम देखते हैं कि ना हमारे पास इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है और ना ही हमारे पास जो है वो फाइबर या इंटरनेट का सर्विस जो है वो मौजूद है। जब भी हम कोई काम करने की कोशिश करते हैं तो जैसे ही बिजली चली जाती है साथ साथ जो है फाइबर भी काम करना छोड़ देता है। तो सब हम ये गवर्नमेंट से मुतालिबा करते हैं कि जो मेगा प्रोजेक्ट्स जो गवर्नमेंट ने लॉन्च किए हैं, जैसे अनाउंस किया है, जैसे कि नल पावर प्रोजेक्ट है, हेजल पावर प्रोजेक्ट है, उनको इमरजेंसी बेसिस पे जो है उनका काम जो है पाए तकमील तक पहुँचाया जाए।
Locals have time and again accused Pakistan of meting out a stepmotherly treatment to the illegally occupied region, failing to develop the infrastructure and leaving them high and dry. Some believe it is part of Islamabad's broader agenda to keep the region underdeveloped.
Thousands of protesters set fire to the home of Bangladesh's founding leader Sheikh Mujibur Rehman as his daughter, ousted former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, delivered a fiery social media speech calling on her supporters to stand against the interim government. Protesters, many aligned with the Students Against Discrimination group, had expressed their fury over Hasina's speech, which they viewed as a challenge to the newly formed interim government. Several thousand protesters, some armed with sticks, hammers and other tools, gathered around the historic House and Independence Monument, while others brought a crane and excavator to demolish the building. Tensions have been escalating in Bangladesh since August 2024, when mass protests forced Hasina to flee to neighboring India. Demonstrators have attacked symbols of Hasina's government, including the house of Sheikh Mujibur Rehman, which was first set ablaze in August as interim government led by Muhammad Yunus struggled to maintain control. A symbol of the country's establishment, the house is where Bangabandhu, as is popularly known, declared Bangladesh's independence from Pakistan in 1971. A few years later, it became the site of a national tragedy. Mujibur Rehman and most of his family were assassinated at the house in 1975. Hasina, who survived the attack, later transformed the building into a museum dedicated to her father's legacy. Sri Lanka's cabinet has given approval to finalize a debt restructuring deal with Japan, a move that follows a preliminary agreement reached last June with key bilateral lenders. This is an important step for Sri Lanka to rebuild its economy, Cabinet spokesperson Nalinda Jayatisa told reporters. The island nation's economy crumpled under a severe foreign exchange crisis in 2022, but it has made a faster than expected recovery, aided by a $2.9 billion IMF bailout. Sri Lanka owes $2.52 billion to Japan, according to government data. It needs to sign similar agreements with China for about $4.75 billion and with India for $1.4 billion to successfully complete the fourth stage of the IMF program. China and Sri Lanka agreed on more investment and economic cooperation last month. In addition to the preliminary $10 billion bilateral debt restructuring agreement with key lenders, Colombo also secured a $12.5 billion bondholder deal in December. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.